Hi everybody, this is Danny Class. Today we're going to learn how to play the melodic minor scale in C. I think you'll find the scale to be interesting, very useful for jazz and other genres that kind of want to kind of push the music a little bit beyond the minor pentatonic or major pentatonic scales that some of you might know. And it is, at least in terms of how we conceive of it, not a difficult scale because it's only one note different than a major scale. But in so doing, it will generate some interesting triads and some interesting chords, which I hope to explore in a later lesson. But for now, let's take a look at the scale and let's learn how to play it. So we are going to start on the 6th string at the 8th fret with our second finger, and this is the root note or the tonic note. This is the C. Next, the second note is on the 6th string, 10th fret with the pinky. This is the D. Let's keep going. Here comes the minor, actually, in the name melodic minor scale. Our next note is going to be on the 5th string at the 6th fret with our first finger. This is an E flat, or you could also think of it as a D sharp. It's the same thing. Next, we will have our second finger on the 5th string in front of the 8th fret. That's an F. Moving on to the next note is on the 5th string, the 10th fret, and this is using our pinky, and this is a G. So to review so far. Okay, at this point, by the way, after that third note, it's just a major scale. So the next note will be on the 4th string at the 7th fret with our first finger. This is an A. And then our next note will be on the 7th fret on the 4th string with our third finger. This is a B. You can hear it wanting to go to the next note, which is a C. Right next door, 10th fret, 4th string, pinky. So that whole scale. Okay, and then to keep playing, I'll do this one a little faster and continue to put the position in the video. C, D, that's my first finger. E flat, that's my second finger. F, that's a G with my second finger. That's an A with my pinky. That's a B, my first finger, and we last end on the C with my second finger on the 8th fret. So that is the scale. I'll play the whole thing. One more time. You can do it with me. Now, if I'm going too fast, that's kind of more on me, so don't feel like you need to really go, when you're first learning this, at any speed, really. Just kind of get comfortable with the scale. Always start slow. You can always build up speed later. It's not a race, and it's really muscle movement. But I do have a little kind of, I guess you could say, trick or method for you to remember down the road as you play the guitar. When you start playing something maybe unfamiliar, like you might ask yourself, well, how do I know which fingers get which notes or which frets? And so the way I was taught, and it served me, I think, pretty well, which is wherever your hand is, and we can talk a little bit also about your thumb. Your thumb should always be between your first and second fingers. But wherever your hand is, whatever finger you start with the 6th string, make that finger sort of look down and say, okay, my finger is going to be responsible for all those frets wherever I started. So in our example, on our scale, I started with my second finger here at the 8th fret. And so therefore, I think to myself, whatever I'm doing here, my second finger is going to be responsible for the 8th fret. Second finger will get all the 8s. Second finger will get all the 8s. The pinky, remember, was getting all those 10s, all those 10 frets. So think to yourself, my pinky will get all of the 10s. In other words, the idea is not to move your left hand in and out as much as you can avoid it. In fact, it's better if you don't, and also if you start learning, or at least getting more comfortable with stretching your fingers if need be. Kind of, set in where your hand will be in that position, and then your fingers will do the rest of the work as you look down and say, okay, each finger will get X number for the frets. Of course, once you start moving up and down, combining scales and chords, then you reset, you reset, you reset. Okay, so there you go. I hope you found it useful. I put a learning plan for this scale in the description to the video because there's a lot you can do with this. In fact, as I was doing the lesson, I thought I could think of at least 2 more parts for this lesson, the triad chords and the 7th chords, which I might explore in another video. But one thing I will say is once you have the scale down, and again, I put how to do that, it's always, I think, a fun idea to find like a backing track and kind of solo over it. And kind of this way you're musically connecting what you've learned. And so for this one, I looked online and there are just YouTube videos, many YouTube videos with C melodic minor backing track for guitar. If you just search those terms, C melodic minor backing track for guitar, you'll get lots of music, and you can kind of play over it or under it, whatever you want to call it, depending. And I think you'll get a lot of fun time out of it. So I hope you found this lesson useful. Remember, if you have any ideas on what you'd like to see going forward, or suggestions for improvement, please put it in the comments and I will take a look. And please remember to subscribe, and happy playing and stay well. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.